Fashionably late arriving New York City tennis fans are settling in their seats in the stadium court. The lights are on, the sun is history, and we are preparing for a second-round men's singles match. Jimmy Connors and number 322 in the world, Bryan Shelton from Georgia Tech, taking on each other on stadium court in just a few minutes here on USA. But first, this update brought to you by the Prudential. Come to the Prudential.
Thank you, Alan. As you look at the man who was 2 days shy of his 37th birthday, James Scott Connors, preparing for yet another in what has become a routine for him, stadium court, under the lights, prime time in New York. And a man for whom this atmosphere and experience is entirely foreign, Bryan Shelton.
Except for one exception, this gentleman played Boris Becker, Ted, over at Wimbledon this year in the first round on court number 1, which isn't quite as large as the stadium court, but at least he's been out there against a world-class player.
Jimmy Connors has not played a match since Wimbledon until his first round match here at the Open, and his results this year barely better than 500. He's 14-10 in matches, and so that went over Tom Nice in the first match since Wimbledon, but his ranking has dropped to 15. But Vitas, I would imagine at this point in his career, Connors not concerned about winning matches in July and August. He's concerned about the majors.
Yeah, he still would like to put another slam event under his belt. And he hasn't played any warm-up matches this summer coming into the U.S. Open. He stayed in St. Louis working out with his mom and his family. So this is actually coming in fresh into this Open, which is probably a first for him.
And now we introduce Bryan Shelton to the tennis world. This young man who is a Georgia Tech product. And his top result, well, just being here and showing up tonight qualifies as his top result of the year. In fact, he's only played 2 Grand Prix matches all year.
The word around the grounds, Ted, is that this young man has a big serve, a tough serve. The only problem with that is that Jimmy Connors likes those kinds of serve. Through the career of Connors, he has returned serve extremely well. I think the big question with Bryan Shelton tonight will be, how will he handle the atmosphere? He's on the stadium court against one of the all-time greats, and can he handle the pressure and the atmosphere? I don't care what anybody says, Vitas. I think it's tough when you play those first few games in this atmosphere.
I happen to think it's very tough. I've been in that situation a couple times myself, but you were proved wrong yesterday. We saw 3 youngsters play awfully well under extreme pressure, so we'll see how this kid handles it.
So we are set to go on stadium court, and Jimmy Connors will serve to begin the match.
Connors opening up with a good serve down the middle. That is not what you'd call one of his trademarks, to serve a lot of aces, but good start.
All Shelton wants us just to hit a few balls, probably get a feel for the match.
I sense a little bit of nervousness already, Vitas, because that was not that tough a shot to get back.
No, he really should have gone around and taken a swing at it, especially early on in the match, just to loosen up. But as you know, it's easy to say that from up here. A little bit tougher to do down on the course.
So true.
Bryan Shelton spent all of this year playing the satellite circuit. Only 2 matches in Grand Prix tournaments. One of those, the match to Becker at Wimbledon.
There's a good-looking play. Kind of came under that return and hit it deep.
40-30.
Connors likes to stay back, kind of get in the groove early in any match, and it is an opportunity if you can take advantage of a second serve like he just did. Wow.
Game Connors.
Well, a big overhit. And so Jimmy Connors begins the match here on Stadium Court by holding serve. This is about as late arriving a crowd as I can recall seeing here for a night session on Stadium Court. And so it will be a few more moments.